So in the last lecture we were talking that talking about 10th schedule of Indian Constitution that contains the provisions regarding anti-defection. So let's talk about some of the provisions of 10th schedule, and these provisions are related to the persons disqualified, or who are these persons. Who are the here person means MPs, that is member of parliament, or MLAs, that is member of legislative assemblies, and who shall stand disqualified. So any member of a house, or in brief we can say that these provisions are regarding any member of a particular house, whether in union legislature or whether in state legislature. Any member of a house whether he may be an MP, he may be an MLA, or he may be an MLC. So provisions with respect to the member of parliament or member of state legislatures. So it says that the member of state legislatures or members of parliament shall stand disqualified if first provision is that if an MLA or an MP joins a political party earlier after his election, earlier being not a member of any. Suppose if an MLA or if an MP, a person got contested the election and he got elected, but he was not given a ticket by any political party, but after winning the election, if he joins a political party, he shall stand disqualified as per the 10th schedule, that is the anti-defection law. Second provision is that, for example, let me give you an example. Suppose Mr. X, he approached the political party, there was an election, so he approached the political party BJP, he approached the political party Congress, he approached the political party, other political party like Y, but he was given a ticket by none of these. Later he decided to contest the election independently, and when he got elected, he joined a political party, and as soon as after getting elected he will join the political party. After getting elected independently, he will be disqualified. He shall stand disqualified as per the provisions of the anti-defection law, that is the 10th schedule. Second, who is disqualified? These are the nominated members. We know that in the Rajya Sabha, President nominates 12 members, and in the Lok Sabha, President nominates 2 members from the Anglo-Indian community. So all these nominated members, if they join a political party after getting nominated, after the 6 months of getting nominated, they shall also stand disqualified as per the anti-defection law. Third, an MLA or an MP, if he resigns from his parent political party, that is on which ticket he contested the election and won the election, and joins a new political party after his election, he also shall stand disqualified. And fourth category of the persons or the representatives who stand disqualified as per the provisions of anti-defection law are MLAs or MPs violating 3-line binding whip of their political party, their parent party. 3-line binding whip. What is a whip? Whip is an order to the whip is an order to the MP or MLA or MLC from his political party. Let me give you a great detail about this. So we are talking about whips, that if a member of a house, any house, violates 3-line whip, 3-line whip. There are different types of whips: 1-line whip, 2-line whip, and 3-line whip. 3-line whip, that is binding. That is binding whip. Only 3-line whip is binding. It means it cannot be violated. If it is getting violated, then the member can lose his membership. So binding whip. A member of any house, if he violates a 3-line whip or binding whip, he shall stand disqualified. Disqualified. What is this 3-line whip? So before to understand this statement, we have to know what is a whip and how many different types of whips are there. Whip is a binding order, as I told you. Whip is an order to the member of a party, member of legislative member of a political party by the chief whip of the party, chief whip of the political party. And there are 3 types. Whips are the directions. We can say directions. These are orders or directions. So these are orders or directions to the members of a political party or to the legislative members of a political party. So there are 3 types of whip: 1-line whip, 1-line whip. These whips are issued by chief whip of the party, of the political party. For example, earlier in the last Lok Sabha, Jyotiraditya Scindia was the chief whip of the Congress political party. So of the political party. So there is 1-line whip, there is 2-line whip, and there is 3-line whip. 3-line whip. These two are just 1-line whip is just informatory. This gives only information. Informatory. This is instructive. It gives instruction. And this is mandatory and binding. Mandatory and binding. So what is 1-line whip? 1-line whip says the wording or the terminology of 1-line whip is your presence. The terminology of 1-line whip is it is informatory. It means it gives information to the member of a political party. For example, suppose there is a voting in the house or there is a sitting of the house. So the political party issues a 1-line whip that there will be a voting. So there will be a voting. This is 1-line whip. 2-line whip is that there is a voting, there will be a voting. It will inform that there will be a voting, and it will request the members of that political party that your presence is required. Your presence. And 3-line whip is that it contains all the instructions that there is a voting. There is a voting. Your presence is required. Your presence is required. It says to the member of the political party that your presence is required, and vote. And it instructs that how he has to vote, whether he has to vote in favor or whether he has to vote against. So vote either in favor. So it clearly says that whether he has to vote in favor or against. This is called 3-line whip. And this is the 3-line whip that is mandatory and binding. And if a member of a political party who is a legislature, whether in union or whether in state legislature, if he violates the whip of the political party, he shall stand disqualified, not as not as soon as he violates the whip, but within 15 days, if he is not condoned, if his violation of the whip is not pardoned by the political party itself. If his violation of the whip is not pardoned by the political party, then he shall stand disqualified from that house after the 15 days. So this is all about the anti-defection law in brief. Now let's talk about the next question. The next question is, Dinesh Goswami committee was concerned with, options are denationalization of banks, electoral reforms, steps to put down insurgency in Northeast, and the problems of Chakmas. So the correct answer to this question will be electoral reforms. So Dinesh Goswami committee was constituted to look into and suggest the ways in the Indian electoral reforms. To suggest in Indian electoral reforms. There have been many committees to suggest reforms, committees set up by the government of India to suggest reforms in electoral sector, One of these committee was Dinesh Goswami committee, and one of its main recommendation was that there should be state funding of Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies elections. So it requested or it recommended state funding of Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies elections. Election to Lok Sabha and election to state legislative assemblies. So one of its main recommendation was that there should be state funding of elections to the Lok Sabha and elections to the state legislative assemblies, so that the menace of black money and corruption in Indian electoral system could be curbed. So this committee suggested state funding of parliamentary election, that is Lok Sabha election especially, and state legislative elections, because it wanted to curb black money, illegal money, illicit money, the flow of black money, illegal black money, and corruption in you can say parliamentary system, Indian parliamentary system or Indian electoral system. How? Let me give you an example. Suppose I am a contestant. I have to fight an election. So I will join a political party, or I may be an independent candidate also, but most of the time independent candidates have to bear all these things, all the cost to themselves. So most of the people they join a political party, and this political party is funded. And most of the time it has been found that the funding to the political parties comes from mostly unaccounted money. Even there is a lot of corruption and these things, and even corporate funding. So corporate fund the political parties to have their say